Oi, fala aí pessoal, bom dia. Você está escutando
o Inglês no Rádio.
I am your host, Foster Hodge. This is your daily dose of English. Hello, hey guys, what's up? It's Foster from Inglês no Cru. I imagine you already knew that. So welcome to another episode of the Ask Me Anything series. So in this series, if you are not familiar, or if this is the first time you are participating in this, this is just a part of Sound School where you can ask me anything, literally. So you can ask me any questions about English, about life, conversations, pronunciation, whatever, and I will try to give you my best answer. I will try to be somewhat intelligible. So anyway, today we have a wonderful question, a really good linguistic question. So one of our students asked, why are some ways to move your mouth so difficult with phrases that have a lot of R letters? Okay, so this is an excellent question. So first of all, I just want to clarify one thing, that you are asking about phrases that have a lot of R letters, but I think what you really want to say, what you really mean, is phrases with a lot of R sounds. So remember that English is not a phonetic language, which means the way we write is not the way we speak. Again, repeating, I cannot repeat this enough. The way we write in English really does not have anything to do, it does not correspond with the way we speak. So you always want to be talking about sounds when we are thinking about pronunciation and how to move our mouths. So always focus on sounds. So the short answer is because you do not have the American R sound in Brazilian Portuguese. And sounds that do not exist in your native language will always be the most difficult because you are not used to making these sounds. For example, the LH in Portuguese, that sound does not exist in English, or at least a direct imitation of that sound does not exist in English. So that sound is super, super difficult for me, even nowadays when I'm saying things like milho. That is a really weird sound for us. So I always recommend this for my English students, but if you are learning any language, you want to focus or at least put most of your attention in the beginning on these sounds that do not exist in your native language because they will be the most difficult for you. Secondly, R sounds in general are usually some of the most difficult sounds in all languages, because there is just so much variation. So just a nerdy linguistic thing, the study of R sounds is called rhotics. So if you hear me say the word rhotics, I'm simply talking about R sounds. That is just a fancy word that people who study linguistics use to say that they're talking about R sounds. Anyways, in American English, we call most R sounds liquid consonants. So this simply means that our tongue is not stopping the airflow. So we can maintain this sound forever. Not literally forever, but for as long as we want. So for example, if I say right, like escrever ou certo, I can say right. And I can hold that sound, I can maintain that sound for a really, really long time. Also, let's say the example of mother. I can say mother and maintain that sound for as long as I want. And this is a really unique and unusual characteristic for consonants, because normally with consonants, what defines a consonant is the way in which we stop the airflow. That means the way we stop air from coming out of our mouths. So what more? Also, if you think about the Portuguese R, like in words like para, piri, puru, the tip of your tongue is actually touching the top of your mouth. So the tip of your tongue is touching the roof of your mouth when you say para, puru, puru. So this sound is actually a lot more similar to an English T or a D sound, and it has nothing to do with an American R sound, which makes it especially difficult and confusing and complicated. Finally, last but not least, R sounds are really difficult simply because there is so much variation. This is why in Sound School, we address each different quality of the R sounds separately. These are what I call R-colored sounds because the quality of the sound is colored. It changes a little bit depending on how we use the R. So just to illustrate this, for example, we have the sound in words like mother, father, beer, cheer, etc. Then we also have the or sound in words like or, more, sure, core, etc. See, those are two very different sounds. We also have the R sound in words like far, tomorrow, tomorrow, sorry, and a ton of other words. So just to summarize a little bit, this is a really good question, but I think the three most important points is that the R sound is really difficult in English for three important reasons. Number one, this sound does not exist in Portuguese, and all sounds that you do not have in your native language will be the most difficult sounds, at least in the beginning, until after you train them and really understand what is physically happening in your mouth, really understand the phonetics and pronunciation behind the sound. Secondly, this is a liquid consonant, which means we can maintain this sound for as long as we want, which is really unique and unusual for consonants. And last but not least, there is a ton of variation in the different R sounds in American English, but that is also pretty common among most of the languages in the world. So I hope that wasn't too technical of an answer, but it was a pretty technical question. So I hope that helps, and I will see you guys in the next Ask Me Anything. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.